What's the family tea that you found out once you got older?
I found out at a very young age that my grandmother did not like my father. My grandmother died before I was born, but my grandmother was Catholic and she did not like my dad. And my mom got pregnant with my father's child at the age of 16, who is my brother, who is 8 years older than me. And my grandmother ended up passing away. 3 years later, my mom finds out after her Catholic mother told her she couldn't wear a white wedding dress to her wedding because she had a child out of wedlock, that her second eldest brother isn't even her full biological brother, and that was a love child that she had while my grandfather was in the Vietnam War. What a bitch.
What's the family tea that you found out once you got older?
Oh, I love this so much. So, backstory, I was disowned from my birth mother when I was 16 years old. And my parents separated when I was 3. And I always kind of questioned the way the dates lined up because when my sister was born didn't line up with when they were officially separated. And my birth mom almost immediately married my stepfather, which I thought was super sketchy. But she shamed my dad so much because my dad is very much like me, and if you know anything about undiagnosed ADHD, it can lead to like failed marriages and impulsively like falling for people, things like that. But she villainized him so bad, and she has so much like internalized misogyny where she would like slut shame other women. Well, I finally asked my dad about it, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, no, she was pregnant with your half sister before we even signed the divorce paperwork."
What's the family tea that you found out once you got older?
Is this what we're doing? Are we spilling the dirty family secret?
Now I live by the street rule, and I wouldn't be doing this, but my mom has stage 3 brain cancer, and I talked to her about the things that she's gone through, and I asked her, do you want to die with these secrets? And she said no. She's been making journals and diaries, but she's not going to name names, neither am I. However, I will tell you this: my mother was the biggest OG in the Niagara region. She worked with several organizations. She had several names. People would come up to me and say, "Aren't you Judy or Sandy's girl?" I don't know who that is. That's not my mother's name. She was very successful. I've still had people come up to me and go, "Wow, your mom."
What's the family tea that you found out once you got older?
So before I was born, my grandfather, my mother's father, was a cop in Mexico. And he was quite popular with the women, left a trail of broken hearts. And well, one thing you don't do is mess with a Mexican woman. They will curse your ass in a heartbeat. And that's what they did. And for the longest time, I watched my uncles, my aunts, my mother, my grandparents struggle financially. We moved a lot growing up. And when I found out about this, it's been return to sender ever since. And I'm telling you, there is no damn curse. We are free, prosperous, and growing. I couldn't be happier. It fell on me to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make this. It's gonna be confusing. It's gonna be long. Okay, so it's 1968, right? We gonna use some fake names. So my great aunt Maggie, my dad's aunt, his mom's sister. Yeah, so she gave birth to a baby in 1968. It was her first baby. Then I don't think it was called postpartum depression, but she knew some shit wasn't connected right. You know what I'm saying? She asked her oldest sister, we're gonna call her Birdie. This time my grandma had like 18 fucking kids, so she asked her. She ain't had no damn kids, so she said, "Birdie, can you watch my baby until I get my shit right?" Birdie agreed. Weeks go by, I think like a month or two, and Maggie's in better spirits, and she's like, "Hey Birdie, I'm here to pick up my baby." Birdie said, "What baby?" police, there's a woman on my porch trying to steal my baby. And Maggie was confused because, they had agreed that, Birdie would watch the baby till she got back normal. Well, the police showed up and escorted Maggie off. And somehow, some way, Birdie and her husband at the time had adopted said baby. I don't know how you do that. But I don't know the inner workings of this shit. But it happened. Well, so Maggie went on to have 2 more kids, and she kept calling Birdie, being like, hey, can our kids mingle together? Since they fucking biologically related as fucking siblings, so they have a close relationship. And Birdie was just kind of like, no. They was technically raised as like brother cousins and sister cousins and shit. It's so confusing. They didn't know they was related until later because like Birdie would never bring baby over. They get raised with my daddy and them, so I've always met him. I thought he was Birdie's child. Well, said child passed away like a year ago from corona. So we at the funeral and whatnot, and they passed out the obituary. And so I'm just flipping through. Y'all know how black people flip through and you like trying to read some shit like, oh, I didn't know he went there, or he did this, I didn't know that. Well, the first paragraph, is saying that he was born on such a day, 1968, and then to Maggie. And I said to Maggie, I think this is a misprint because isn't his mama Birdie? I'm like, yeah, I thought his mama was Birdie. He goes, no, Maggie his mama. Y'all wasn't gonna say shit? How? What? Daddy like, yeah, Birdie stole him and adopted him. I happened to look at my great aunt Maggie, like, and I look at my great aunt Bert, like, you want me to slap the shit out of Bert? I understand why you don't like her. I know why nobody like her. Bitch, you stole the whole baby. And it just bothers me. Now, my whole life I couldn't figure out why I didn't like this woman, and I know because bitch, you be stealing babies. Baby stealing, the fuck?
What's the family tea that you found out once you got older?
So it turns out I was the family tea. I was the kid that nobody knew existed. So growing up, I knew that my dad was my stepdad. He was not my biological dad. I didn't know anything about my biological dad. My mom just never told me anything. Fast forward to college, I found out through a wacky series of events that me and my dad lived in the same town for 6 months and never knew. So we met and all that, and then 2 years later, he passed away. And it was at this point that everybody else found out that I existed. The only people that he had told about me when I met him was my biological brother and his stepchildren that he raised. They were the only people that knew for 2 years. And when it came out about me when he died, his sisters and his parents were convinced that I was lying and that me or my mom wanted money or something because he had died. And the reason that they thought this was because he had told everybody that after my brother, he was unable to have children. So that was a lie. And so you fast forward a couple more months, and my uncle, my dad's brother, messages me, and he's like, hey, did you hear about your new sister? And I was like, what the fuck do you mean my new sister? I just gained a whole bunch of new relatives. Are we adding another one to this mix? And he's like, yeah, when you get those Ancestry DNA test results back, because they had sent me an Ancestry DNA test, and I think it was because of this, it should connect you to her as her half sibling or something, because she just connected to me and we're related. And I was like, what the fuck? So my dad was not sterile because he had 2 whole ass mystery children out there that he told not a soul about. And that is how me and my sister became the cool family gossip. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can take away the things we share. Hope you don't mind how I need you like that. The way I love you, they don't understand. And it's crazy how you're my best friend. You're always in my mind, let's dance to the rhythm of your heartbeat. The way I love you, they don't understand. And it's crazy how you're my best friend. You're always in my mind, let's dance to the rhythm of your heartbeat. Dance with me, dance with dance with me, dance with me. Oh my love, can you dance with me? Dance with me, yeah.